Hi, it's Connie Erickson, and today I'm talking about emotional affairs. And I generally don't talk about work much when I get home, but last week I happened to tell my guy that I was working with a couple who was recovering from an emotional affair, and he said, "Wait, what? That's a thing?" So, yeah, that's a thing. And I sometimes forget what non therapists know. So I figured if he doesn't know that, then I guess a lot of people don't know. And maybe I should talk about it. So, you might not know the term emotional affair, but I can almost guarantee if you found out your partner was having one, you'd be pretty clear about the way you felt about it. So, what is an emotional affair? Emotional affairs are difficult to define. They're intimate, close relationships with someone other than your partner. They're different from just friendships because they usually have some sexual charge to them, maybe some flirty texts, maybe innuendos, maybe even some fantasizing. And while the definition's a bit fuzzy, I can give you one simple, easy to understand rule. And that is if you wouldn't want your partner to see it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Live by that rule, and unless you're throwing a surprise party, you should be good. So, here are some clues that you might be having an emotional affair. You get really excited to hear from that person. You might have flirty text exchanges. You might fantasize about them. You talk about your emotionally intimate topics. You wouldn't want your partner to know about some or all of your exchanges. You complain about your partner. Now, these are some, none. Some of these, you might not have all of them. You have inside jokes. You share things that you haven't shared with your partner. You secretly compare them to your partner, and you feel like they get you in ways that your partner doesn't. So, if you have some of those, you may be having an emotional affair. And here's why it's bad. Usually, emotional affairs start out innocently enough. Maybe it's someone you work with or someone you met socially with whom you just click. It seems harmless, but it's not. And here's why. One, it drains the energy from your relationship. It drains energy from your relationship. You only have so much mental and emotional capital. And it's hard to put your whole self into your primary relationship when you're spending emotional and mental capital on this other person, like maybe thinking about creating witty text or wondering when you'll see them again. You're putting energy into that relationship. It also creates distance in the primary relationship while nurturing a closeness with the affair partner. Sharing things with this other person that you're not sharing with your primary partner is kind of like tending to your neighbor's garden while expecting yours to bloom beautifully, and then being pissed off that your garden is not as spectacular as your neighbor's. Um, the other reason it's bad, one other reason that it's bad, is that it's based in fantasy. It's really not based in real life. It's fantasy because you can't know this other person in the same way you know someone you live with. You don't see her taking off her makeup at night or squeezing a zit in the mirror or sniffing his socks to see if he can wear them again. In this way, your primary partner will always fall short because this other person is really a fantasy. You're only seeing part of the affair person, not the day in, day out, have the flu, forget to take out the trash, belch loudly kind of parts. And just as you only know parts of the affair person, they only know parts of you. They don't necessarily see your unsavory part. You get to be the best version of yourself to that other person. But your unsavory parts are there, and your primary partner sees them. The part of you that gets sullen or agitated or even snarky and mean. It's difficult to hide those parts from your partner. It's easy to be the best version of yourself with the affair partner. Your primary partner sees the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, what should you do? First and foremost, cut it off. Your garden will not flourish while you're tending someone else's garden. Um, there's many words you can use to do this. You can even Google them. But basically, you're just saying, look, I feel like this isn't healthy for my primary relationship or for my marriage or whatever. I think my partner would not be comfortable with our interchanges, and I want to put my energy into my partner. Done. And if this is someone you can't avoid, make it clear that you intend to connect with them only as required by the situation, like work information only. Then start putting more energy in your primary relationship. Start doing those things that were easy with the affair partner that you long forgot about doing with your primary partner. Send that flirty text, wear the shirt you know that they think looks good on you, put down your phone while talking to them, those kind of things. And another thing that you should be doing is putting more energy into yourself. So just because your unsavory parts seemed invisible to the affair person doesn't mean they aren't there. Start addressing them. Start working to become that person that you really want to be, that you thought you were with the affair person. Start working to become that best version of yourself. And then start having the difficult conversations with your primary partner. Maybe you talked about things that you couldn't talk about with your partner. If that's the case, then it's time to talk about those things. Talk about the things that bother you, your hopes and fears for the future, things that you want to change about your relationship. Even talk about the little things that bug you, that you didn't want to make a big deal over. Those are the things that will rebuild the foundation of your relationship and cement it for years to come. Um, there's so much more I could say on this topic, but right now I'm going to leave you with two take home messages. The first is it's your responsibility to be your authentic self in your primary relationship. The things that you can't talk to your partner about are exactly the things that you should be talking to your partner about. And the second, again, it's easy, simple, and important. If you wouldn't want your partner to see it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So thanks a lot. I'll see you next week. Please feel free to comment. I would love to hear your thoughts and questions. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.